Hey everybody, welcome into Watch Me Wednesday. I am back. It seems like I've been away forever. I was away in Florida last week teaching for a whole week at Lollipop's Quilt Shop in Fernandina Beach. Hey Jean, how are you? And I'll tell you, being away for the week there in Florida, hey Laura, how are you? They do, hey Deborah, they do humidity really well because I'm used to being here in Arizona where it's quite dry. So I was away for a week there teaching a fabulous retreat. These ladies did wonderful, wonderful job. It was so much fun. I was home for 2 days and then I was up in Prescott, Arizona for 2 days. I did a lecture and a trunk show, so that was a lot of fun. It was close to home. I drove. So it was nice to be closer to home. Now I'm home for 5 or 6 days, and then I head off to Montana. Last Watch Me Wednesday, which by the way was Watch Me Wednesday episode number 49. And today, guess what? Hey Nedra, I hope you're having a blast at this retreat. I did see some of your pictures, by the way. I can't wait to see what you're working on. Thanks for joining me. This is episode number 50. Do you believe it? I've been doing Watch Me Wednesday now, actually for over a year, because I started it, I think it was about a year back last June, but there were some weeks where, you know, I have off. I was away last week. I love the love. Yeah, do you believe it? It's number 50. So anyway, I'm pretty excited about it. Today is going to be kind of a cool little episode. If some of you missed the Creative Spaces blog hop that I was involved in over the past 6 weeks, I wanted to highlight today some of my favorite tools that I use in the studio, and I hope that they are some of yours. And I do have some videos and tutorials on some of these tools so that you could see them in my YouTube channel. Oh, good. Let's see. Signed another quilter here up for your awesome. Yay. Hi. What is their name? I'd like to say hi, Nedra. Hey, Cole. Hi, or Kel Kohler. It's good to see you, Kel. I missed you this morning at boot camp. It was, so for those of you who follow me regularly, one of the things that I do every day, and actually this was a cool question that came up at my lecture the other night, at the Prescott, the Mountaintop Quilters Guild in Prescott. A lot of people have asked me over the years, you know, how do I get things done? And one of the ways I get things done is I have 3 very, very fabulous quilters and friends who help me out. They work for me, but they are also my friends whom I absolutely love. And Nedra is one of them who is joining us today. And I love you, Nedra, and I'm so happy that you help me in all my endeavors. And yes, sometimes it's kind of crazy. So Nedra is one of them. So shout out to Nedra. Thank you so much. She helps me. And Lisa Slinsky, another one of my pals from Connecticut, she also helps me out. And my friend Sally Murray, she is also wonderful. So I have 3 people who help me consistently, and I love them and appreciate everything they do for me. But my typical day, if you're wondering, before I get into the tools, my typical day starts off, I get up super duper early and I go work out. And I have a whole nother family. I have my quilting family, but I have another family. I call them my fit family. And I go to boot camp every day. And when I'm away, hey Chelsea, how are you? I go to boot camp every day. And when I don't go to boot camp, it seems like something's missing in my day. So I do go work out every day. And that's how I start my day. Then I come home and I get my breakfast. And then I'm in my studio. And I am in my studio until I'm ready to go eat my lunch, and I walk out to the kitchen, eat my lunch, come back in my studio, get my work done. Then when my husband comes home, typically I spend time with him at nighttime. I may go for a second workout with him if he is up for it. And then we spend time with each other. And while we're watching TV or just sitting in the great room together, I'm working on computer work. So I'm doing website work, or I'm doing emails, or I'm designing, or I'm writing patterns. So that's when I get most of my computer work done. So that's kind of a small snippet of my day. So anyway, Kristen's trying to watch while shopping at Sam's Club, and it's not working. I'm sorry, Kristen. You'll have to watch it all later. But anyway, that's a small snippet of my day. When I'm not here and I'm traveling, like I have been for the past week and a half, I do a lot of computer work at night in the hotels, and I try to squeeze it all in. I bring things with me that I need to get done because I do have to meet deadlines. So that's kind of how I get my stuff done. And again, I have my fabulous team that works for me, whom I love and adore and appreciate everything that they do for me. So anyway, let's get down into it. So if you guys want to know about some of my favorite tools, I'm going to tell you, tools and notions, I should say. So if you want to share this with your friends, please share the video. And I'd love to, Kel, you're as bad as I am. I work harder for myself than I ever did when I worked for someone else. How true is that, right? When you run your own business, you do work so much harder for yourself. I basically work Sunday through Saturday, which I'm sure Kel can relate. I'm sure some of you out there who also run your own businesses can relate to that. But luckily, I love what I do. So oftentimes it does not seem like work. So let's get down to the nitty gritty, okay? First off, the one thing that I absolutely cannot live without in my studio is the rotary cutter. How many of you can't live without the rotary cutter, right? I use this constantly. Yeah, show me the love on the rotary cutter, right? One of the things that I tell all my students in my class is I use a 60mm blade. I used to use years and years ago, I used to use the 45mm. Actually, I have one sitting here, over here, but I very rarely use it. Very, very rarely use it. I change the blade on my 60mm probably once a week because that's how much I use it. So I have a big stash of rotary blades. But this is probably, I would have to say, probably my most favorite tool because without it, I can't do what I do. So that is my most favorite tool. Then I've got some really really good favorites too. So as a lot of you know, I'm an Aurifil thread designer. Thread collection designer, so I work very closely with Aurifil, but the reason I do is because I absolutely adore it. But when I'm so I don't typically when I'm doing piecing, I don't use a color thread per se. I use a neutral. So if you see here, I use either the gray or like the parchment color. So the colors that I use, I'll show you the colors. This is 2600. Can you see that? 2600 Aurifil. And it is a 50 weight. And then for the beigey creamy one, it's 2000. Can you see that? Okay. And that's 2000. And these are both 50 weight. I use 50 weight for piecing. Piecing with 50 weight is the best weight that you can use for a piecing. It gives you that accurate 1/4 inch seam allowance. I don't use anything heavier and I don't use anything lighter. Now, of course, if I'm quilting, I am going to choose whatever suits my fancy. So if I want to use a heavier weight to show the quilting off, I will. If I want to use a lighter weight so it just kind of blends and sinks in, I will do that. If I want to use variegated versus a solid color, I do that. But this is my preferential thread for piecing, 50 weight Aurifil in either the gray or the beige. Okay, so then I have another favorite tool. This scissors of mine. So I have to confess, my good friend Joanne Waring, who lives in Australia, she got me into these little scissors. So see how pretty they are? I love them. She collects these are Ginger scissors, but these are just, for me, they're just the perfect size to snip threads and kind of snip little pieces of fabric if I need to. And I love them, and I love them. They're so pretty. I have several of these, but these are probably my favorite ones. And these stay in my studio. They don't travel with me because I'm so afraid I'll lose them. So those are my favorite. And by the way, if you guys want to, hey, Janice Chesnick, how are you? I was just up in your area yesterday. Anyway, if you guys have any favorite tools that you want to comment, put them in the comment section so we can see what your favorite tools or notions are. So another one of my favorite tools, and I use it for a lot of things, is the fabric glue pen. Now, I sell these on, I'll tell you, a lot of what I'm showing you, I do sell on my website. So I can put links afterwards up above my head. But this is one of my favorite tools. I have a couple videos that I do. I use this for curved piecing. So you can see my video on curved piecing for this. Use it for applique. You can use this glue pen, and it's kind of cool. So let me show you. So it's refillable. This one has the yellow glue in it, but you can also have the blue. And I sell all the refills too, but it's a nice tacky one. It's great for fabric to fabric, which I love. It stays tacky enough, long enough. Yep, Soline glue, same thing. They're one and the same. Who knows what? I think they make them in the same factory, but don't you love it, Linda? So I also use it for binding. Laura, I turned you on to the purple thing, and we're going to talk about that next. So this glue pen will take the place of pins in a lot of things that you do. So one of my favorite things, and hopefully it becomes one of yours too. So since Laura mentioned the purple thing, I'm going to talk about the purple thing. That's another one of my favorite tools. So if you're not familiar with the purple thing, it's a T-H-A-N-G thing. It's a cool little tool. It's like $3.50. This little square at the end, that is a perfect 1/4 inch. So if you want to check your seam allowances, you just lay it down and see if you've sewn a perfect 1/4 inch. The other thing is you can use it this way as a stiletto, like an extra finger, because our fingers are a little fat and you don't want to get them in under your needle. And the other thing is you can use here this flat end, which I use for curved piecing. So when I teach curved piecing, I show you how to use that. And I do have a YouTube video on the curved piecing technique, which involves this, and then my next favorite item as well. So these are my most favorite pins, and if you have ever been in one of my classes, I talk about these too. Yes, I do sell these too. Let's see, have you used it to help remove your papers in those tight areas? Absolutely, Linda. So Linda just asked if I use the purple thing to help me remove papers when I'm paper piecing. Yes, because you can slip this in underneath the paper and pick it up, because sometimes you have tight areas where you can't pull it with your finger because your fingers are too big, and then you just, it helps you lift that paper off. So yes, absolutely. So my most favorite pins, let me get in close. These are my most favorite pins. They are Clover quilting pins, and they are super fine, but you'll also notice they are super long. Can you see that? Super long. I like them because fine pins cause a lot less distortion when you put them in your fabric and turn them down. They go in like butter. They're super duper sharp, and I love them. And I use those for the curved piecing as well as joining blocks together too. So those are 3 of my tools. Actually, you'll see in that curved piecing video that I was talking about. Another one of my favorite tools is kind of a double duty tool. So this, some of you know exactly what this is, and some of you may not. So I learned this, and this is one of the reasons why I also love to teach classes, because I learn from my students too. So probably about maybe 5 years ago or so, I was teaching a class in Rhode Island, and a student in the class says, come on over here, I want to show you something. So she showed me this little tool, and it comes in different forms too. This little thing is an eyebrow trimmer shaper. You can get it at your local drugstore, your Walmart, your CVS, your Walgreens. Amazon is a tack-on item. But I use this especially to take, hey Carol, I use this especially to take out those teeny tiny stitches that you make when you are paper piecing, okay? Nedra says she just used one of those today and it's amazing, yay. Isn't it great? So it just rips your stitches, but if you're doing super teeny tiny, like when I teach paper piecing, I have everybody take their stitch length down to 1.5, so it perforates the paper better. But it's hard to see if you need to rip out and you need to put your seam ripper in there. it's so much easier to use this. And yes, I have a YouTube tutorial on this too. I'll put links above my head so you can go reference those on YouTube if you like, and you can see how I use it. But the double duty I said is that it also can act as your eyebrow shaper and everything. Sue, oh good, Carol's gonna get one, and Sue says she uses the eyebrow trimmer all the time. Awesome, awesome. So another one of my favorite tools when I'm paper piecing is, a lot of you have it, some of you probably have not used it, but it's your add a quarter ruler. It gives you that perfect 1/4 inch seam when you're going to do a trim down. It has a little lip here. It's like a raised lip, but that raised lip is a 1/4 inch. Now I use them in several different sizes. So this size I actually sell online. The other sizes I don't sell online just because they're harder to ship. So then I use this one for super long seams. Okay, it's an 18 inch by 2, I think it's 2.5 or 2, what is it? Yep, it's 2.5 inches long, or 2.5 inches wide, 18 by 2.5. And then I got a second one and cut it in half. So I have a 6 inch and a 12 inch. So these are indispensable when you're doing paper piecing. They're super duper a must when you're doing paper piecing. Yes, Dinah, yay, you use the add a quarter. Don't you love it? Then, of course, with the add a quarter, you must have your template plastic, because when you're folding your paper, your template plastic holds, you know, it'll hold on place. The add a quarter will hold it in place. So my template plastic is my fold template. Yes, and Nedra uses it too. It's definitely a must for paper piecing, for sure. I have varying sizes of template plastic, depending on how large your seams are, depends on how large your template plastic is going to be to fold that paper back. One of my last favorite tools that I'm going to show you today is, this is probably the most used ruler, rotary ruler, that I use on any given day. It's the Creative Grid 6.5 by 12.5 inch, and for me, it's just the perfect size, and it has the correct markings I needed on it. It has all the different angles I need on it, and it works perfectly for a lot of what I do. So this is probably my biggest go-to ruler. I have a ton of rulers, but I think this is the one that I use most every day. So those are some of my favorite tools. Now I want to show you something really cool. And I don't know if some of you saw it. I posted it on Facebook. This, I had a chance over the weekend because I was home for 2 days, very little 2 days, because I had some funky flight arrangements that kind of got messed up when I came back from Florida. But anyway, I made it home, and I was home long enough to test stitch out something that my friend Katrina Walker digitized for me. So I'm super excited about it and can't wait to do more. But this was a test run. I have to go, I use the colors. I did it, it's an embroidery. She digitized an embroidery design for me. And I only used the color threads that I had with me. I need to go get the correct colors. So I ended up using 2 variegated threads. Kind of looks pretty cool. But I want to share it with you. So she digitized for me my logo. So I was able to stitch it out. I wanted to see how it's stitched out. And I'm going to be putting this on some items for Quilt Market. My friend Lisa and I will be wearing t-shirts that have the logo on it. I've had some suggestions from some people. Oh, thank you for the love. Isn't it wonderful? So I'm hoping to get to, you know, for all my gals that help me out too, you're going to get some stuff with this on it. But I'm hoping, I've had some people request some items. Some people would love to see this on a little canvas tote bag too. And I may just do that because I think it's kind of cool. And I'd personally like a canvas tote bag with that on it, right? Linda says tote bags would be awesome. So, but here's the question though, Linda. So if I did a tote bag, did tote bags with them, like how big would you want the tote bags? Would you want, you know, what size tote bag? That's what I'm trying to determine in my head. What would be best for those who would be interested in having them with my logo on it? That's the quandary. So if you guys have ideas, put them in the comments of what sizes you might like to see. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. I will not be back next week because I will be in Montana. I will be up at Judy Niemeyer's at QuiltWorks, and I will be working on the newest block of the month. A lot of you saw it. I finished it a week ago Saturday, the one that I was doing, and it came out really good, and I shipped it off to my friend Margaret Solomon Gunn, who is quilting it for me. It's done in my Feline Fine fabric line that I'll be launching in the quilt fall market. Fall quilt market. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. So that's off, but I will be working on the king size one that I showed you the last time I did one Watch Me Wednesday in the K facet. So I'm going to be working on that up in Montana. So Judy's going to be teaching us some tricks and techniques so that we can start teaching this to you come January of next year. So that's where I will be next week. I will be in Montana. So, oh yes, king size, Linda. Yes, king size. I will be there, so I will not be doing Watch Me Wednesday, although I have the feeling that some of the certified instructors that are going with me would love it if I do a Watch Me Wednesday while I'm there. So I may do an impromptu one, so stay tuned. I'll forewarn you if I am going to do one. That is if I remember too. I have to remember because if we're super busy, I may not. So anyway, so I won't be here next week. But I can't wait to do it next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Laura says that'd be great. So I will definitely try and do it. I'll set a reminder on my phone to see if I can get that done. Anyway, put in the comments here what are your favorite tools, because I would like to see. I really would like to see what some of your favorite tools are, because you never know. It could become one of mine, or it could become a favorite of somebody else who's watching here and reading the comments. So yeah, definitely tell us what you like. I would love to know. Anyway, thank you so much for coming in today. I hope you all have a wonderful week. And I am going to, right now, I have some fabric collection work I'm going to do. So for fabric collections coming up, believe it or not, in 2020. So that's what I'm going to do today. Signing off for now. And you all have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you possibly next week. If not next week, I will be here the week after. I will see you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.